This is gonna be part 5 of answering questions that Carly had in her videos. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out my reposts and check out the video I reposted from Carly, where she asked a bunch of questions for shifters who have successfully shifted to other realities and to their DRs in the past. The next question I caught in this video is, what does shifting feel like for you? Do you get symptoms or is it just instant? And honestly, I feel like this goes really well into part 4, do you have a final push? So I'm actually really excited to film this video. So similarly to what I said in the final push video, I'm gonna kind of reiterate some points that I said in that video in this one. So the times that I've felt the shift actually happening, I did not fully make it to my DR because I was so focused on being in that in-between state that I wasn't letting go and fully becoming aware of my DR. I was very focused on the actual feelings I was getting from this shift and being in that in-between state, that I stayed in that in-between state. So on the nights that I have successfully shifted to my DR or another reality and spent some time there, whether it was grounded or ungrounded, every single time there were absolutely no symptoms, no feelings, no awareness of the shift happening. It was just one of those things where I wanted to shift, and at some point I ended up becoming aware of another reality. I lived there for a little while and then I came back here. Every single time I have felt the actual act of the shift happening, or I've gotten shifting symptoms, or I felt like being in that in-between state, I'm so focused on the fact that I'm aware of those feelings happening, and I'm very hyper-focused on the feeling of being in that in-between state that I keep myself in the in-between state. I'm not fully letting go. I'm not allowing myself to have the shift happen. I'm keeping myself stuck there because I'm focusing on it. And so my actual advice would be to not expect to feel anything for shifting. Like, don't expect any kind of awareness of the shift in any capacity. Just go into your shifting attempt knowing that you can shift to your DR. It will happen instantaneously, and regardless of what you hear, what you see, what you feel, what you smell, anything like that, if you're doing a shifting attempt, you should already be focused on the fact that you are already in your DR, you've already achieved what you're wanting, and now you're just reaffirming that that's where you're waking up at. There shouldn't be a focus on what you're feeling in your CR, what you're thinking in your CR, what your brain is doing in your CR, because that's just grounding yourself into your CR. It's just grounding yourself into your current awareness, and that's not what you want. You want to be aware of another place, and so to do that you have to let go of your awareness of here, let it all fall away, and allow the shift to happen. So if you feel like you're waiting to feel something or be aware of something or any of those things, you're just keeping yourself stuck in your CR. That's why that shifting attempt would not be successful, in my opinion, and my experience actually. When you're shifting, I genuinely feel like every single successful shift I've had is when I've already assumed I'm already there, I've already been successful, and now I'm just kind of being like excited about what's gonna happen next. Every single time I've gone into a shifting attempt and I've tried to keep myself, I don't know, it just doesn't work that way. So letting go quite literally means letting go of the control. That also means trusting yourself and the intention that you're setting. So that means when you set an intention to shift, you have to genuinely trust that your intention will happen. And if you're sitting there setting the intention but then thinking about like, well, I'm not feeling myself shift right now, I'm not hearing anything different from my DR, I still feel my CR bed, well, you're just affirming all of the things that you don't want. Like, why? There's a disconnect there. All you should be focusing on is setting your intention and knowing that your intention is valid and true. And even if you don't have a successful shift in that moment, that does not mean you have not successfully shifted. That does not mean you don't already exist in your DR. That does not mean that you are not already there. It just means that at this time, you were not at a place for you to become aware of it. And that doesn't mean that the intention didn't work. Eventually, being a master shifter is going to come down to setting the intention and knowing that you're going to shift every single time you do it, or setting the intention and when the intention doesn't work, being able to realize, oh, it's because this needed more of my attention, or I needed to prioritize this thing more, or I really thought I wanted to shift, but what I actually wanted was something else. And then you can start becoming aware of those things, and you can start identifying why an attempt that you felt really confident in didn't end up with a successful awareness of the DR of your choosing. I'm clearly still working on perfecting this and figuring out these mindsets. I definitely have not perfected it. I haven't had my 24 plus hours in a DR yet. Fully grounded, conscious, and aware. I haven't had a Courtney shift. Until I have my full-on Courtney shift, I'm not going to be satisfied. So this is obviously something that like I'm still struggling with too, because a lot of the time, like 9 out of 10 of my attempts, I'm sitting there focusing on what's going on, trying to identify when the shift is going to happen instead of just like setting the intention and letting the shift happen. Like I'm so hyper focused on it because I'm still trying to control the shift, and like every single time I've let go of that control and I've just been open to anything happening, whatever that may be. I've had the experiences that are more like what I'm wanting to have. So also don't be afraid to like experiment. Like my favorite thing, and I cannot reiterate this enough, and I'm really sorry this is so long, but like literally if you are feeling stuck in shifting and you just feel like it's been 5 years and you haven't shifted and you just have never had any experiences and you don't know what to do, script a CRDR. Literally script the exact same reality as this one, but with one singular difference. Just one. Set the intention to shift. Believe that it will happen, and I promise you, you're going to see something change. I've not seen this not work for anybody. Like this is the one and only thing I've seen be a fail-safe for everyone. If you set the intention to shift to a separate a CRDR where only one thing is different. It could be something that you script to be different, or you could just script one thing is going to be different when I shift tonight and I wake up tomorrow. My CR is going to have one thing different. And then you'll start seeing how easy shifting is, and then you can start reaffirming your intentions by seeing results. Because I think a lot of the time we get really down on ourselves by not seeing results when we set intention. And that can make setting intention and like letting go of the control really hard, because the more you don't see success, the more you feel like you have to like hold on to it and like control it as much as possible. So another really good exercise that you can do in your CR is to set the intention to like, I'm gonna drink my water bottle now, and then you grab your water, you drink it. You've just proven to your brain that you have set an intention and then followed through and then got the result of the intention. And you can do it with anything. I intend to draw a Z on my paper. I drew a Z on my paper. Boom. I just proved I can set an intention and follow it through. And those are really good exercises that you can do for your subconscious to kind of get yourself in that mindset. And then if you try to do that with shifting and you immediately have a bunch of thoughts about why it can't be that easy, now you know what you need to dissect and work on in your own internal system, your own brain, your own thoughts and feelings, to work out those obstacles so they no longer seem like obstacles, because they're just rules that you're putting on yourself. So I'm really sorry that this video is so long, but I was really excited to film this one because I genuinely feel like every single time I've gone into a shifting attempt expecting to feel this shift happen or feel a change happen or be aware of the change happening, I've either only had mini shifts or gotten DR memories or had a blink shift. I've gotten like a slight awareness, but I've never gotten a full shift. Every single time I've just been like, I'm setting the intention, I'm going for it. I have some kind of a shifting experience. Maybe not what I'm wanting, but I'm getting closer and closer every time I have an experience to getting the one I want. So that's my answer to that question.